Welcome to Dynamic Destiny Radio with your host, Coach Pete Cafarchio on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Unpack your powerful potential this hour in a conversation that will revolutionize who you are. There's a way forward from feeling stuck. Learn the reasons most people feel their life is on hold and the practical things you can do about it. Join Coach Pete as he tackles the big, the little, the ugly, and the powerful in an hour of unparalleled radio you don't want to miss. If you knew your real purpose, would you live it or would you continue to turn away? Find out on Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete Cafarchio. Unpack your powerful potential now. Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm so glad you joined us today. I'm Coach Pete, and you're listening to Dynamic Destiny Radio, coming to you from New York City, each first and third Wednesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll help you get unstuck and unpack your powerful potential. You really do have amazing potential. Do you know that? Do you believe that? Okay, well, we're going to help you fulfill that and realize it in its fullness. You can catch past episodes of this show on my website, petecoaching.com, and we're also on Facebook Live. We're going to open with our quote for the day. This comes from Eric Hoffer, and Eric says, "Men weary as much of not doing the things they want to do as of doing the things they do not want to do." Men weary as much of not doing the things they want to do as of doing the things they do not want to do. I love Eric Hoffer. He's really deep, and there's so much truth in that. Hey, are you putting off what you really want to be doing? Because Eric Hoffer made this observation, and it's absolutely true. That is tiring. It'll wear you out. It actually takes effort to suppress that. And you're missing the energy that comes from having your desires fulfilled. So remember, it's not just, oh, I'm stuck doing the things I don't really want to do that's making me worn out. It's you're not doing the things you do want to do. So make that a point and see what you can do to start working those things in. You know, I really want to do this. I'm going to go do it. Hey, we have a powerful show for you today, and we're going to unpack a big question. What is my life purpose? I have lots to share with you on that. I also have feedback from you, our listeners. I have some helpful resources to share with you. And as always, I'll be answering some of your questions. If you have questions, please write to me, askpete@petecoaching.com. Also, visit my website, www.petecoaching.com. Okay, first, I have something from the good news department. And this is takes place actually in Australia, other side of the world. Australian sheep farmers are currently facing drought conditions, not good. And in order to preserve their flocks, they need to transport the baby lambs to have someone else go take care of them until they're strong enough to stand on their own. Guess where they're sending those lambs? They're sending them to prisoners to feed and care for them. And it's a win-win. The prisoners find purpose in caring for a living creature, and they're developing animal husbandry skills, and the farmers save their little lambs until they're strong enough to get back into the rest of the flock. This is what one of the prisoners said. "It's made me a bit more kind-hearted and gentle. Who doesn't love a baby lamb? I just love them." Can you picture that? Can you picture this hardened criminal, maybe tattoos or, nothing against tattoos, but just a tough looking guy with a little baby lamb, and it's softening him up and it's really helping him connect. I think that's awesome. I think it's really powerful. I guess it's kind of like pet therapy, but at the same time, it's giving these guys a sense of purpose. You know, I have something to look forward to. I have somebody else to take care of, not just looking out for myself. And this program has grown more and more successful, and they're now building more pens to accommodate the increasing amount of resident lambs. Not only that, the community is also getting involved. They're pitching in by donating blankets, feeding bottles, and lamb food. I don't know what lambs eat, but lamb food to help care for the critters. So I love this story. Somebody got creative, solved a whole bunch of problems at one time. It's a collaborative effort, win, win, win across the board. Love stories like that. They're really heartwarming. All right, I have a little some feedback from you, our listeners, about the show. This first one comes from Debbie, and Debbie said, "I watched your radio show, and by the way, you can watch this on Facebook Live, also on YouTube. Just look up Peak Coaching or look up Dynamic Destiny Radio. I watched your radio show while I was on the elliptical this afternoon. Your show was seamless, relevant, and so interesting. I forwarded it to my son, who has questions and anxieties looking for his first professional job after he graduates from college this December. Looking forward to more shows." Well, thanks, Debbie. I really appreciate that. Listen, I have a great team that helps to make this show seamless. I want to give a shout out to Zach, who's my producer, who handles all the technical aspects. Hey, Zach, say hello.
Hello, hello.
All right. Yeah. See, guys, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And Zach's one of those people that he keeps me sane and kind of makes me look good or makes me sound good. So thanks, Zach. And thanks again, Debbie. This next comment comes from Brent. Great show, Coach Pete. You are starting to get me to be dissatisfied with my dissatisfaction. Hey, I love that, Brent. That you can get a quote too, like Eric Hoffer. Get dissatisfied. He's becoming dissatisfied with his dissatisfaction. I think that's great. That's part of my goal here. I want to give you a hug and encouragement, and I'm also going to give you a kick in the pants sometimes. Brent, let your dissatisfaction drive you forward. You don't have to live with it. Don't get comfortable. Everyone, don't get comfortable with your dissatisfaction. Get in touch with it and say, you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. I can make some changes. That's awesome. Hey, if you like the show, tell your friends. I'd love to hear from you as well. Just send an email to askpete@petecoaching.com. So, how can I figure out my life purpose? I get asked this a lot. And it's a really important question. It goes right to the core of finding meaning in life. And so when you think about your purpose in life, first of all, I want to get us all on the same track for today's episode. When you think about your purpose in life, don't think of it as something to accomplish or achieve. Okay, that's more like a mission or a vision statement or whatever. When we're talking about purpose, I want you to think more about who you were designed to be, like the way you influence the world around you. Okay. Like, do you encourage? Do you teach? Do you build things? Do you research? Do you discover, pioneer, comfort, heal? Do you empower? Do you bring justice? Typically, when your life purpose is activating, it'll show up in multiple areas in your life. And it's more about the style, the way, and the quality that you influence your world. So don't think of it as a task. Okay. Don't think of it as an activity by itself. Think of it as all the things that go into you and the effect that you bring. So when I do ask people about this, I want to give you a couple scenarios that we can hear and have a little bit of fun with this. These are some traps you can fall into when we're starting to talk about life purpose. And by the way, all of these come from real life examples when I've spoken with people. Yeah, here's the first guy when I ask, "What's your life purpose?" Well, I think my life's purpose is to like live my life, with like a sense of like purpose and, to live it out and to be purposeful in my life and how I live every day. Yeah. Cause if you don't have a purpose in your life, then like your life really feels like, purposeless, and that's not good. Okay, I'm having fun with that, but it really is true. Like, life purpose is a big thing people talk about right now. And sometimes you can chime in because you want to be part of the discussion, but you don't have a lot of clarity. Let's get clarity. We're going to do that on today's show. Here's another common one again, and I call it a pitfall. I think it comes from a good heart, but it's a pitfall. When I ask, hey, what's your purpose in life? Well, I think my purpose in life is to make the world a better place. Okay, that's a good start, but it's not going to get you real far. Okay, so we want to get clarity. You got to get specific. How are you going to make the world a better place? Or what style do you bring? What influence do you bring to make the world a better place? Okay. And here's the last one. Uh, my purpose in life to look out for number one, baby. And that's me. No one else is going to do it for you. You got to get all you can while the getting's good. Okay. Lots of people have tried that path as well. And what does it result in? Emptiness. I want you to think about your purpose as how you impact others, not how to be a narcissist, not how to make everything bend your way. How are you going to make an impact on the world? Hey, can you relate to any of those scenarios? I think I've been through all of these at some point in my life. Don't let this happen to you. No matter where you're at in your journey, I'm going to do my best to help take you to the next step forward. And we're going to get really practical on this episode, not just talk theory. You're listening to Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete Cafarchio. Hey, how can I figure out my life purpose when I have so many demands on my time and energy right now? Do I have to go away on some kind of meditation retreat or something like that? Hey, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some practical ways to get more clarity on this topic that eludes so many people. Don't go away. We'll be right back. To Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete, where we unpack your powerful potential. You can learn more about me and get lots of helpful content at petecoaching.com. How can you get clarity on your life purpose? That's what we're talking about today. And I'm going to make that simple. I'm going to give you 5 practical ways to get more clarity. 5, one for each finger and your thumb. Okay, so let's dive in. Number 1 way to get more clarity: ask people who know you. Now, you can ask close family members, coworkers, friends to honestly tell you what your strengths and weaknesses are. They can often see you better than you can see yourself. For the past couple episodes, we've been talking about this, and I highlighted a free tool that you can download. It's called What Everyone Else Sees About Your Destiny. It's free. Just go to petecoaching.com/blind spot. petecoaching.com/blind spot. If you haven't looked at it yet, go ahead and get it and let me know what kind of insights you get from it. We heard last episode from Denise, who said it was transformational. Not only was it hugely affirming to her, but it shed light on her strong qualities that she was taking for granted. That's an important part of knowing your life purpose, is understanding your innate talents, what is you and what isn't you. You get blind to that because you live with yourself all the time. Other people can shed light on that. We talked about that in previous episodes, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one, but go ahead and get that tool. It'll be really helpful. Okay, number 2, ask your history. Ask your history. Now, this is the tool. I've used all of these myself, by the way. I love this one. Here's an exercise. I call it a success inventory. Take some time, reflect on the accomplishments or moments in your life when you felt the most successful, fulfilled, fully alive. Some people say in your zone. For some people, it's like I made the most impact, or I helped the most people, or it was really, really gratifying. I want you to look for moments, okay? Not like 4 years, but a project you worked on or a person that you were able to help. And for each scenario, you want to write out a good, healthy number of these, maybe 7 of them. For each scenario, after you write the scenario, ask yourself, what was the setting? What skills and talents did you use? And what role did you serve in that story? Okay. And then what you want to do is look for patterns that show up multiple times across the different stories. This is a way to hack your own history. There's aspects of your life purpose that pop up and shine through in these stories. And because you're living your life and you're busy, you're probably not noticing these, but when you go ahead and take that view, you can start to trace these patterns like, wow. And when you align with your design, you get your best results, you make the most impact, and you feel the most alive. So we're kind of reverse engineering that. Here's my big aha. As a young man, I struggled a lot with the fact that I have really broad interests and I'm always starting things, but I felt like I was never finishing them. And I kind of had that as a shame thing because people would say, oh, You start everything, but you don't really know how to finish it. And it's like, it was a bummer. Um, then I did this exercise. In fact, I'll tell you where I got this. I got it from a really great book called What Color is Your Parachute? And if you're a parachute fan, it's the flower diagram, petal 3. I lead a lot of my coaching clients through this exercise as well. And when I wrote, you have to write out these stories and go hack those. And what I did is I started to see that I come alive and do some of my best work and make the most impact when I start things. Bam, bam, bam. And that's also why I have broad range of interest. Is if you're going to be a starter, you have to wear multiple hats all at one time. Wow, that was such a huge insight for me. And all of a sudden, the shame, like, get out of here. You got no room in my life. I was wired this way. Don't tell me you're just a starter. I'm uniquely designed to be a starter, and I'm not a finisher because I'm not a detail guy, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. That was a huge turning point for me. And you're going to have different insights that you're going to get as you hack your own history, but it'll give you more clarity. And in fact, I then took that insight. It then helped me stay away from maintenance kind of activities that just keep things going. I'm always about pioneering and on a creative edge. And so I know I look for those kind of opportunities now because I do better work. The people around me get a better result. I feel more alive. Win, win, win. It's awesome. Okay. Third, number 3. I just packed a lot in there, by the way. That hacking your history. Get the book. What color is your parachute? If you need, or just re-listen to this episode again. There was a lot there. I want you to try to do that exercise. It can be great. Number 3, ask science. Okay, so we're living in a time when the science of personality development is exploding. Okay, we're understanding neuroscience, we're understanding human development, behavioral science, all these things, and it's exploding. It's worth your time and your expense and your energy to take an assessment or two to better understand how you're wired. Okay. I've seen huge results with this as I've coached my clients through the Gallup Clifton Strengths Assessment. I'm part of a company called We Align, and We Align has a package where we it's called the Strengths Alignment Package. And we spend 5 hours, 5 1-hour sessions walking our clients through this to really, really understand their talents, how that's developed in their life, how they can choose activities that line up with those talents, and what are they going to do with their weaknesses? How can they build strategies around that in order to stay in their good zone and not have that really sap them and drag them down? So Gallup Clifton Strength Finder, I'm certified in it. I really like that one a lot. Gifttest.org. I like that a lot. That talks about motivational gifts. DISC. I know people who really prefer the Myers-Briggs type indicator. That's a great assessment, real popular and huge right now is Enneagram. Everybody around, do you do the Enneagram? They're really excited about it. Priosys is another one. And the reason people get excited about these is because it's speaking to their life purpose. Okay. There's something innate in us. I want to know, how can I do my best? There's an explanation why I see life the way I do. And it's like this person's kind of similar to me, but this person, they see it very, very differently. There's no good or bad. There's no right or wrong. We're just wired differently. And when you can get that kind of understanding, it's another big clue to knowing your life purpose. Okay. So the key, if you're into assessments, the key is to know what the assessment is trying to measure as well as its limitations. Okay. So if you took Enneagram, awesome. But Enneagram is not going to give you, that's more about your reactions, your behavior, and also it actually reveals some of your darker side too. Like, what are the things that cause insecurity? But that's not, and do it. Take Enneagram, enjoy it, okay, and let that feed you. But it's not going to help you on things like, hey, what kind of work activities are the best for me to gravitate toward? Where can I really, really shine? That's something that you probably want the Clifton Strengths assessment to do, because that's going to show your innate talents. Are they in the leadership area where you can influence people? Are you a great communicator? Um, are you good at analyzing data or numbers? Are you a good history buff? Right? Are you strong in relationships, and you just have empathy for people, or you just are somebody who can see potential in people and help to develop them? Another area is just intellectual strength, like um, well, we talked about analyzing things, and then, or are you just somebody who can get stuff done? Are you an execution machine? How do you do that? Are you somebody who makes lists and get those things ticked off, or are you somebody that I have some guiding principles, and those are the things that drive me on. Okay, so understand what the assessments are for, and that'll help you pick the better one. Again, personality, Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, your motivations, also DISC I'd put in there, talents, Clifton strengths, communication style. I know another one real popular is Priosis. It's got the 4 colors. That's really going to show you the way you like to communicate. So again, great assessments out there. I want to tell you a quick story. This is from a good friend of mine, is Coach Dale Young. So look him up, Coach Dale. And he had one of his clients, or her name is Sam. And last November, Coach Dale coached Sam through her Clifton Strengths. And she got clarity on what really makes her happy, who she is, how God created her. And she had a big aha moment. She realized that she was being stuffed into a box that she really didn't fit in. And when that happens, guys, it's so easy to blame yourself, and you just get down. You think, oh, I'm not really good at life, or I'm not skilled, because look at that other person, they're flourishing, and here I am struggling. I just must not be that smart, or I'm not a hard enough worker, or I don't know what it is. There's something wrong with me. A lot of times you're in the wrong slot. And Sam got that kind of insight when she took an assessment. So she shifted her work. This is I love this story. She shifted her work, and she started a working as a professional executive assistant. This is a big thing now, outsourced executive assistants. She started working on her own, started her own business as a solopreneur. Within 1 month, she had more work than she could handle, and she had to hire other people to work with her. Now she's outsourcing, she's employing other people. This all happened so fast simply because she got into the right zone, into the right slot. And so I want to highlight the power that getting these kinds of insights can give to you as well. Okay. So take one, right? A lot of them aren't that expensive. Some of them, if you look around, you can maybe even get a free version. I know the Myers-Briggs, if you go to 16personalities.com, you can get that for free. All right. I am Coach Pete. You're listening to Dynamic Destiny Radio. We're talking today about the 5 practical ways to get clarity on your life purpose. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the most powerful one that will accelerate you faster than all the others. So stay tuned. And, during the break, you might want to get a paper and pen as well, because I want you to take notes on these things so you can actually run with them, because we don't want to just talk theory here. We're putting these things into practice. That's where you're going to get those insights, is as you actually put these things into practice. So this is Coach Pete. I will catch you after the break. We'll see ya. We're back on Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete, where we unpack your powerful potential. A reminder, you can catch archived episodes and get lots of helpful content and resources at petecoaching.com. We've been talking about 5 ways to get clarity on your life purpose. And so far, we've covered number 1, ask people who know you. Number 2, ask your own history. Number 3, ask science. And now we're going to talk about number 4, ask a professional. Okay. A qualified coach is trained to help you get clarity on your life purpose and your calling. That's what we do for a living. You can get this on your own. Like I'm giving you some tools. I use these tools with my clients. I've used these tools, all of them, on myself, and you can do this on your own. And I encourage you to do that. The difference is, if you're working with a coach, it will rapidly accelerate your path to getting that clarity. Okay, the clarity that you're looking for. That the coach that is trained, they're skilled in this. They know exactly what to look for. They know exactly the kind of questions to ask you. And if you drop a clue as you're talking, a good coach will pick up on that and be able to take you right on the right path, cut out a lot of extraneous, uh, uh, side trails. And in some cases, I mean, we're talking years. You can cut out years of wandering, and by getting this clarity. I want to give you a quick story of the power of coaching. It just happened last week. So I was at a strategic planning retreat for a startup company. I do that. I'm a facilitator, and I absolutely love that kind of work where I can work with a team, draw out the best in each of the players, and then move everybody forward with their vision. And I make myself available, and I was staying there the whole time at this retreat. And I make myself available to anyone. Hey, if you need to talk about anything, just come and talk to me, and we'll do it. And one of the young men came up and said, "Hey, I'd really like to talk to you and do some quick coaching around time management." Awesome, love doing time management. I learned a lot about it because I need all the help I can get on time management. And here's the situation: he had just gotten pretty much a promotion. His responsibilities just leaped, really as a result of doing the strategic planning, and he had internal doubts about how he could meet that challenge. And as I was asking him, "Hey, tell me more about what you want for time management," this is the story that's starting to come out. You know what? I reached a level of competence, but now I see this job is going to be it's going to require that much more from me. And it really wasn't about time management. Okay, it was about, does he have the goods? Can he come up with the goods to lead and to succeed in his next role? And in fact, the one clue that he said, he's like, "Well, I'm not as good as the MBA types," is the term that he used. And it's like, oh, okay, so you haven't had all this professional training and maybe gone to elite schools and things like that. And when we got to that core issue, I got him talking even more, and I had him paint some word pictures and things, and he wound up telling me that he worked really hard to advance to where he had gotten. He had to get out of his comfort zone. He had to try a lot of new things, and he succeeded. And then he reasoned with himself out loud, "Hey, if I did that, if I could carry the same attitudes with me, I can do it again. Even though this seems more intimidating, I know if I lean into this and try it, I'm going to succeed at the next level." It was amazing. That's the power of coaching. Okay. I was there just as a guide. I picked up on key things he was saying, but when I bounced those back to him, he came up with his own solutions and or his own encouragement. Okay. And some people have talked about coaching as, facilitating a monologue with yourself, but I'm skilled at it. And here's the key. If I had jumped in and said, "Oh, you can do this. I know you can. I can believe in you, and let me teach you some time management skills," I would have completely missed the boat, because that wasn't the heart of it. Okay. The heart of it was, did he believe in himself that he could do those things? And I could say, "I believe in you." And that might have helped. It might have encouraged him some. But when he came to the point where he said, "You know what? I've done this before. I believe in myself," that's a that just settles it right there. That's Folks, that's the power of coaching, and how it can really work. So I want to encourage you to find a coach if you feel like you want one right now, and maybe there's certain goals you want to move toward, certain things you need to sort through, you need to get clarity. You see life's passing by really fast, and you want to make it count. Go ahead and engage a coach. I tend to focus more on professionals and people that are either in career transitions or wanting to ramp up their leadership, but I coach all types as well.
Most coaches will do a free discovery call with you where you can just spend some time with them, get to feel them out a little bit, um, to see if they're going to be a good fit. And before you jump in, because you are going to, a good coach you're going to have to pay for. Um, but a little bit of try before you buy is a good thing. For me, you can go to my website, petecoaching.com/contact, and you can actually book a time slot right there. And, we'll love to get to know you, find out what your issues are, and see if we can help. If not, I can refer you to a lot of other friends that I have that focus a little bit more on like life coaching issues. Okay. So far we've covered ask people who know you, ask your history, ask science, ask a professional, and here's the last one, the most powerful, ask God or ask your creator. Okay. We're all coming from different religious backgrounds and spiritual backgrounds. Make this work for you. Everyone's included on this discussion. I'm going to tell you my story and how things have worked for me, but I want you to ask your creator. Okay. So have you ever heard the expression, like, uh, your talents are God's gift to you, but what you do with them is your gift to God? Yeah, I've heard that before, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. You didn't earn or deserve the amazing things that are innate inside of you that are unique to you as well. So those are a gift to you. What you do with those? Are you going to be like selfish guy that we heard in the first segment? It's all about me, or are you going to use those to develop those and make the world a better place? That's your gift back to humanity and also back to God Himself. God did not just randomly dump you on the earth and then say, "See ya, buddy. You're on your own to go figure this out." Okay, but I will tell you a secular viewpoint of God that you're just an accident. By the way, I do believe I don't want to go deep on this. Do believe in microevolution. It makes sense. You see species adapting and evolving. It does not evolution does not explain how life began, and it does not explain the variety of life forms. It just breaks down really fast. So if you don't know, you don't have to come out in absolute surety on evolution or not, but you are not. There's just way too much design and beauty for you to for you to be a random accident. Okay, you were not dumped here by chance, and the creator or a designer or whatever forces did not say, Go figure it out. You're totally on your own." God wants to help you. Okay, He wants you to get clarity on your purpose, and He will give you wisdom and insight if you ask. Okay. I have some promises that I found in the Bible. If you ask, you can trust that God will do these things for you because, like, some of these are written 2,000 years ago, one's 4,000 years ago. People have been hanging on these for eons, and they work. There's a reason. Okay. And these have worked for me as well. Here's one from the New Testament. This is James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." Wow, what a great promise. If you need wisdom, ask God because He wants to give you wisdom. And He's not going to sit there and say, "Well, you don't deserve it." He's like, "No, I'm going to give you wisdom and it will be given to you." Believe that. Here's another one from in the Old Testament, the book of Jeremiah says 33:3, Jeremiah 33:3. Call to me. This is God inviting people. Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things that you do not know. So we can ask God to show us things that we don't know yet, like my life purpose. And Ephesians 2:10 in the New Testament says, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Wow, kind of sounds like God's got a plan. Okay. If He does, He wants to show you that. So ask Him, okay? And trust Him. That's really the core issue is do you trust God? Ask Him. Here's a quick exercise. Write out on paper that kind of a prayer. Like, "Dear God, please help me understand my life purpose. Please show that to me. Reveal yourself to me."
So I've had some people say, Jesus, if you're real, if you really rose from the dead, reveal yourself to me. Those are all fair. There is no right or wrong in the way you pray. No exact right words. Write it down on paper and then pay attention over the next couple days to see how he answers that. Okay. But here's a key: put God first in all things in your life. If you want to clearly discover it, you have to commit that when you get this wisdom, when you get this insight, that you're going to do something with it. You got to make that commitment before you get the insight. That's what attracts God pouring that out into your life. Okay. So do it as an exercise, write it out, then start to pay attention. Okay. Let's see. We are going to we're going to go to a break now. So you're listening to Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, I'm going to answer some of your questions. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete, this show where we unpack your powerful potential. Hey, it's time, drum roll, I do this every week, for the Make It Real Challenge. Okay, this is when you commit to making this real, not just listening. And here's the challenge this week. We talked about 5 different ways to get clarity. I just want you to pick one. Pick one of these that you haven't done before. Okay, pick one exercise and do it. Okay, download what everyone else sees about your destiny from Coach Pete, PeteCoaching.com/blindspot. That's one thing you could do. Second, you could do that, your success history and hack your history, write out your success inventory, look for patterns and similarities. Third, you could take an assessment that you haven't taken before. Fourth, engage a coach. Many will do one free discovery call to see if this is going to be a good fit. That's something you could do. Take action, step out of your comfort zone. And fifth, write a prayer out on paper in your own words, asking God to show you what your life purpose is. Okay? So just do it. And if you need some accountability, find a friend to do it together. Write to me, say, Coach Pete, I'm going to do this. Check up on me. Okay. Write back to me and let me know what you discovered. This is askpete@petecoaching.com. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. We're going to move into the time of our show now where we answer some of your questions. If you have a question, email askpete@petecoaching.com or visit my website, www.petecoaching.com. This first question comes from Chris. Chris says, is it possible to have more than one life purpose at a time? Okay, first, I'm going to say, what do you think, listeners? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Write to me. Send me an email. And Chris, I'll just tell you some of my thoughts on that right now. You may have different assignments in life. You might have different roles that you serve, like you're a father, an employee, and a community leader, all at the same time. Okay, they're different roles, but they might be all different aspects of your life purpose. When you get more clarity on this, I'd love if you could tell me that. Like, hey, do you know what? I found out that I start things, and so when I'm a dad, I'm always starting projects. Like we just built a tree fort with my son, or on my job as an employee, I'm the one who's always starting the new projects. And guess what? I'm the community leader in our Boy Scout troop, and I just started this and this and this. That would be different roles, but the purpose of somebody who gets things started would be the same across those roles. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts as you discover this more. It helps, though, Chris, if you write these things down. So do a little bit of inventory. I'll tell you, guys, writing things down gets them out of your head and can often just bring a lot of clarity all by itself. Just a good tip. But write down all your different roles and then look to see if there are similarities of the way you approach your different roles, the value that you bring. You might have to get out of the weeds a little bit. Maybe have somebody else help you with this as you talk to them. Okay. But you get the idea. All right, that might be related to the next question that comes from Mervin. And Mervin asked, after getting clarity regarding life purpose, how can someone maintain that clarity even after making a career transition or despite changes that may occur in life and business? Can this clarity change as we go through life? Really good question, Mervin. Insightful. And I suspect you might be, this might be real pertinent. You might be going through these changes yourself right now. The short answer is yes, your life purpose can change. And I'd like to suggest that if you're growing and developing as an adult, your understanding of your purpose should change. It should be getting more clear as you go along. My understanding of my life purpose now at my age, in my mid 50s, is very different than it was. Well, slightly different. It's different than it was when I was in my mid 30s. It's not radically different. I have more refinement to this. I've tried a lot of things and I know which things work for me and which ones don't. I also know the other people I need to be around if I'm going to do well. If I'm going to do my best work, if I'm going to make the most impact, I know the people I need to be around, the kinds of leadership I need to be around, and the kind of people I don't need to be around, because they can work against me, or it's just not going to be a good picture. So life experience will really help you do this. So as you're growing and learning and staying on top of these things, yeah, you should. Now, do I look at my life purpose every week? No, I don't try to reevaluate. I do have vision, I do have goals, and I look at those every week when I do my planning. But every once in a while, and there's no hard and fast rule, but I'd say, every 3 years, if you're in the same kinds of situations, or if you're making a change, if you're making a career change, come up for air. Take a little break. A lot of people, when you switch jobs, you got a few days in there. Go away, or just get in a new setting and start to ask yourself some of these deeper questions and do an inventory. Okay. As you master different skills in your experience, you might find that what you thought was something you were really focused on. Say, there's a software program at work, and you're the one who's taking the lead on it, and you really invest yourself in it. And man, I love doing this thing, and I'm learning a lot about it. Um, you and you like it, you enjoy it. But after you get good at it, you might look back and say, you know what? I don't really like that anymore. And it's not just because I'm not learning it. It actually kind of drains me. It was the excitement of learning that kept me alive. But now I'm looking back, it's not my favorite thing to do. That's a great clue for you to understand what energizes you and what doesn't. Just getting experience under your belt is a really big help that way. So revisit the topic periodically to get more insights and to really help you refine that. So will your purpose radically change? I kind of doubt it, but I'm not living your life. You are. Your understanding of your purpose will change and it'll refine over time. Okay, before we close out, I wanted to just on a practical thing. I want to tell you one more story. Um, Going back on the ask God part of this, just want to make sure I include this. I have a tendency to think really big. This is what happens with me when I ask those questions of God. Hey, what's my purpose? What's my life calling? I'm thinking the grandiose picture. I'm thinking of something big, impactful. And when I pray that kind of prayer, or when I look, or even when I talk to my friends, right, and I apply any one of these five tools, five practical things, the answers that come back to me are usually about smaller things that are right in front of my eyes. And I always think I have this tendency to think that my purpose, or the understanding, is this big aha that's out there and it's huge and it's going to explain everything. And it's usually not like that. It's usually, oh, like for instance, I love to encourage people. All right, that's just in me. It's part of my purpose for sure. When I think, what's my life purpose? How can I encourage the most people and have a life changing impact on them? And, big, big, big. And when I get my feedback from my stories of, hacking my history, or I talk to my friends, or I pray and God starts to show me certain things, it comes out to be like, oh, that guy on the subway that you struck up a conversation with? Well, that really encouraged him. Like it kept him from making a really bad decision because he didn't think he had any options. Or, "Oh, Pete, you talked to me one time." This is when I'm talking to my friend. "Pete, you talked to me one time and you encouraged me that I sounded like I was a good teacher." This actually happened to me. Yeah, that I sounded like I was a teacher type, or my husband was a teacher type, and that he should probably pursue that. And you know what? He did, and he loves it. I'm like, I didn't even remember saying that to them, right? It was like this offhanded comment. So a lot of times it's the really small things that wind up when you're in your zone and really fulfilling your purpose. It's those small things that wind up making the big impact. And so I just want you to absorb that a little bit, okay? That it doesn't have to be gigantic, grandiose, hugely impacting. It's the style that you bring to your everyday encounters, touching people on a day-to-day basis. Okay. That's where the magic is. That's where the joy is. Okay. And they all come together, take all the clues from all these, they all come together to form that picture so you can get more clarity. Okay. Our quote for the day again from Eric Hoffer: "Men weary as much from not doing the things they want to do as of doing the things they do not want to do." So make sure you're doing the things you want to do. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Dynamic Destiny Radio. I had a wonderful time today. I hope you did too. Please join me every other Wednesday at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And you can catch archived versions of the show on my website, petecoaching.com. Also on YouTube, there's the video versions, and you can catch us on Facebook Live as well. Have a great week, and I will see you back here next time. Remember, you really are God's gift to the world, so be the best version of you that you can be. We're depending on you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us on Dynamic Destiny Radio with Coach Pete on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Are you ready to go make a difference? Unpack your powerful potential and watch the world around you transform. Tune in next week and discover new ways to make a positive impact in your world and within yourself. When you learn to love and accept yourself, you can spread that power far and wide. Learn to discover your special gifts and how they are best used to serve others. That is how you become truly alive. Reshape your future into a dynamic destiny. Learn more about Coach Pete by visiting PeteCoaching.com. That's PETE coaching.com.